Alright, let's begin. Hello everyone and welcome to BHC Studio. Today we'll be taking a look at a bag from Billingham. See, it's brand new. I haven't even opened it. In fact, I'll open it in front of you right now because I don't like the reflection coming off of this. Alright, that's much better. Here we go. This is the Billingham 307 series. Well, this is a 7 series bag and this is the 307. There was a 107 discontinued. There's a smaller one, the 207. But this one specifically, I like it because it can actually handle my 13-inch MacBook Air. And I'm going to kind of compare it against my Wotan Craft Lightning Rider. They say 12 liter, and this is maybe around 11 or 10 liter. It's really hard to, different bags rate sizes differently. I think maybe this may be more accurate. I think it's about like an 11 liter if you include the main inner compartment and the outer pockets. They claim this one here is 12 liter, but you can see that it's definitely smaller. But we're gonna move over to Studio B and do an overhead video. I'm gonna maybe put in some inserts with me sort of carrying this. This is just my first look, and this is gonna be kind of a long-term review. I'm gonna come back maybe in a month or two and sort of show you how I would use this in the field. This is definitely a larger bag, but I wanted to start off with the 7 series because there isn't a lot of videos on the Hadley and the Inventor, and that's probably the most popular amongst photographers, but there's reasons why you would want to go with the 7 series. Maybe the 207, 307, definitely they make way less of these, so they're rare to see out there, but there's some pretty sweet features in this bag. So let's go over to Studio B, we'll take a close-up look, and then I'll give you kind of my overall first impressions thoughts, and then again, I'll put in some inserts and we will circle back in a month or two and I'll give you my full thoughts on this awesome bag, alright? So let's start the video. Well, I mean, we've already started it, but let's start the overhead part of the video now. Alright, so here's a really nice overhead view of the 307 bag, and I'm going to just take off this tag here so you guys know I'm not going to just put this back into stock, or this is just sort of a temporary loan, but I get to go out and about and shoot with it. Look at that right there. That's kind of the first thing here is made in England. And I know one of the things that maybe if you aren't acquainted with the Billingham bag series or the company themselves, they are quite a small, I would almost call them like a cottage industry. My guess is maybe 25, 30 people in the factory and another 20 people that run the company. So it's definitely under 100 people. They've been making bags since 1973. Started off with the husband and wife team, Martin and Ross Billingham, and they were making bags for fishing and hunting, I think. And then later on they realized that New York photographers were in fact using these as camera bags, and then they kind of switched to making camera bags quite exclusively. They do have some lifestyle type bags, but they're pretty much known for their photo camera bags. And this is the kind of the look they've had. And it's, if you go back and find old vintage Billingham bags from the 70s and 80s, there isn't a lot that has changed. Except if you're really into the bags, you could start noticing the subtle differences, and it's pretty darn cool, the history. As I mentioned, this is made in England. And so when you include that and the size of the company, all real leather all through, all leather piping, all hand stitched, the pricing is going to reflect the type of quality bag you're going to get. So this 307 series is $498 US. The one size smaller, the 207 series, is $459. Now you can get bags much cheaper if you get into like the Hadley small and sort of the entry level bags. There's even some like bags that are meant for like airplanes and stuff. But once you get into like the larger size bags, you are hitting that $300 and above price range. And sort of put it into perspective, my wife Camera Girl, she loves handbags, luxury handbags, beautifully made. For instance, the Chanel double flap, they start around $10,000. And the Hermes Birkin bag, which is famous even for those that don't know anything about women's handbags, Birkin bags start at $10,000. They can hit over $100,000. And even something as small as a Gucci Marmot, small, kind of like a little, I think they nickname it like the camera bag or something. I mean, that's even starts at $2,000. And those fashion brands, yes, the quality of those bags are really good. I would even argue that these are actually built better. But 80% of the value of that bag is not in the bag. 80% of the value of those fashion brands is in the fashion industry. They have ambassadors, they have movie stars using it. They advertise on billboards and magazines and websites and YouTube channels, and they do these crazy photo shoots with luxury cars. All that costs money. And so when you're buying a $10,000 Birkin bag, you're also buying into that whole fashion brand. A brand like Billingham, look at their Instagram account, look at their website. I mean, it's sufficient, but you could tell they're not paying celebrities to use their bags. They're not going off into the North Pole and spending millions of dollars on some ad campaign. In fact, one of the things about their website is I would love for them to do more kind of like close-ups like this and little videos maybe, and maybe I can help them with that. Most of the money in this bag is in the bag. You're not paying for the name, the quality, and for something that's handmade in the UK using all premium, as you can see here, this is all real brass hardware. You got brass feet on the bottom, beautiful leather, as well as this Fibronite material. And this is one of the things I really want to talk about here. Let's just open this bag up. It's a little stiff when you first get it, but it will loosen up. Is here, you can see this. So it's a 3-layer material. So this is their own proprietary synthetic material. So this is kind of like a wax canvas type outer shell. And then the inner shell is a little bit nicer on the inside. And this is this beautiful green. And in between, which you cannot see, is a beautiful rubber layer. And that rubber layer makes this waterproof. It's not just a coating on the outside or some wax canvas on the outside, but there's a piece of rubber in between here. So there's videos of people pouring, like putting a hose on the top, and water does not get in because of that butyl rubber. And this entire bag is made of this Fibronite material. Now they do make their traditional wax canvas, and I think with wax canvas you can make punchier colors. I think like the red and the blue, and they do have the traditional khaki wax canvas. And some people just like that wax canvas feel as well as look, because this definitely feels different. It doesn't feel like Cordura, and it doesn't feel like wax canvas. It's sort of something in the middle, and you can sort of, the inner part, obviously the density is different, so it moves differently than the outside. The outside's more rigid, but you can feel that inner rubber layer, which gives you a sense of security. And so, having all those things taken into consideration, $500 for a bag like this is actually insane value. And those that are I know if you check on YouTube, there are some fashion bloggers that don't use these bags for photography because you can remove the inserts and just use this like an everyday or kind of a weekender bag. And for them, these are deals because they're used to spending $5, $6, $7, $10,000, $15,000 on these fashion brand bags, which again, well built. But you're not paying for just the bag. You're paying for the entire fashion ecosystem. With the Billingham, tiny company, you're pretty much paying for this bag. And so let's start off with one of the reasons why I chose the 7 series is that they do have these brass feet. So when you put a bag like this down, it will sit flush and flat like this when you have things in it. So it's not gonna fall over like happens with some of the other bags because it's much thinner. And another thing I like about this bag, which maybe some people might not like, is this Y strap. Now, when you have straps like this, now I know a lot of people would want this, like maybe, I know even with the newer Hadleys, they just have like a little ring and then a little clip, is that you actually lose a little bit of stability. So when you're walking, sometimes the bag will kind of move back and forth. And I'll kind of show you quickly. Here is my Wotancraft bag, and this is technically a sling because you can see it attached in the back. See how it's on, especially on this side, it's on the ring. And when you're walking, what happens is that if the rings are up top, is that you do get a bit of swinging because of it. Now, because it's a sling, it's designed to kind of pull sideways, so you get a little bit more stability. But with this bag here, you have this Y system here. You're going to get more stability, and I'm going to test that when I'm out and about and walking with this bag. Now, another cool feature about this 307 is not only do you have a top handle, which isn't kind of built, if you can see the Hadleys and the Inventor, the handle's kind of built into the top, so they have to put some kind of a structure on the inside. This top can be allowed to be nice and kind of flexible and flappy, but here is being these 4 points of connection here, right, that keeps this, and you can see here there's a little strip of leather here as well, a little D-ring here, and a couple of attachment points. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but this is way more stable when you're holding by the top handle. But this bag has a little trick up its sleeve in that there's also inner handles here. Now you're thinking, why would you need inner handles? Well, because if you are going to use this bag in the field, and let's just say you're doing a shoot or something, and this bag is designed that you can open it up and leave it open, and if you're moving from point to point, you don't have to always flip it closed and then grab the handle, and even then you have to lock the handle in place, right? And so sometimes you're kind of cupping the bag, and so having this left open here, opened up, and being able to move this at any time, I think is awesome. And if you don't want to use this, like let's just say you decide, well, I'm not really going to use it this way, you can actually unclip this off here. You can see here, right? You can take this off here, and basically you're only using this to access the front pockets here. So there is a 2-layer system, so when this is closed and you think, well, someone's going to stick their hand here and grab things, nope. It's still locked in this way here, and you still have to open up this way. Now, in terms of speed, yes, if this is around your shoulder and you need to grab something in here, it's not as quick as a Hadley where you might be able to go pop and then pop and like that. You still have to pop this open, unless you kind of leave this open so you can access it quickly, or maybe fold it back like this, maybe if you tend to go in often. But for me, the security of having it like this, so if you have something like a nice 35 Ti point and shoot, and you have this clipped down and you have this closed and locked in, and let's just say the bag kind of flips upside down, there's no worry of anything falling out. So that's another reason why I like this bag, is this unique inner handle system here. Now let's look at another unique feature about this bag, which is, look at that. It opens up like a doctor's bag. And that's kind of why I like the Wotancraft bag. So with the Wotancraft Lightning Rider, that's another reason why I really like this bag, is that when you open it up, it opens up like a doctor's bag like this, right? The problem with this bag here is it's not weather sealed. The top zipper is not weather sealed, and there's no flap. So if it's raining, this is not a waterproof bag. Even though the Cordura and the leather is waterproof, the most vulnerable part of the bag is up here. And so if it's pouring rain, I would never use this bag, worried that I would get the gear wet. But this bag here, again, when you get to where you're taking a picture, again, you just crack it open like this. And this is another safety feature where the zippers are see how the zippers are far and away from your gear. And I think the 550, the 550, 350 series, it has this feature where I think you can fold it and clip down the zippers. This one here, you don't have to, right? Nice, opens up nice and wide. Again, I'll test to see how easy it is to open this up while it's around your neck if you want to just quickly go in and grab something. But to me, I love this kind of wide mouth system. And as I said, if you want to just quickly move it, you just grab this without having to close this and grabbing it this way. And again, it's loose, right? You still have to lock it down. So having these inner grab handles, to me, is going to be awesome. All right, so let's look inside here. We can see you get extra little inserts here. This one here is quite a thick one, and I think it's just meant to put on the bottom here. So if you look inside here, oh, you get this little, okay, so I'll explain this one a little bit later. So here you go. This is inside here, and you have like the Velcro, sort of the soft sides of the Velcro on either side here. So it's quite roomy in here. So as I mentioned, here's my 13-inch MacBook Air, and it will fit perfectly in the back here. Look at that. Nice and simple. And the 207 cannot. The 207 can, I think they say up to an 11-inch iPad. So I thought this would be nice because I can actually use this as a non-camera bag. If it's like sort of a weekend bag, I could definitely put, a pair of pants and some shirts, and put, here you can see, you can even put a nice water bottle. Yeah, you can put a water bottle straight in this way, or you can kind of put it this way, but I can see this as a weekend bag, not just as a camera bag, if you don't use any of the camera inserts. So let's take these things all out. All right, so let's convert this into a camera bag. So again, you put this down on the bottom for extra cushion, and I think it also, when you put this down the bottom here, now it kind of squares off the bottom here. So notice before, it was kind of pinched in the middle to keep it a little bit smaller. But if you put that piece in, it makes it more rigid and it makes it flatter. So again, if you put it down here, it stays up. And here you have two. This is the 915 Superflex. And which one here is this? This is the 1018 Superflex. And so I guess the sizing is a little bit different. They look very similar to me. But anyways, let's, this comes down to how you want to set up your system. So I'm going to just, oh look, and it looks like there's kind of like little side pockets here as well. So if you want to just slip something in here. So maybe even with this in here, if I don't want to put a water bottle, I could just kind of slip this over to this side. Yeah, but it gets a little, yeah, it's a little bit too much maybe to put a water bottle if you put that that bottom piece in. And then you have another slot here. Maybe what I'll do is put this on the other side, right? So put these here. Put these on either extremes of this. And now it leaves the middle open. And you're thinking, well, what's this piece? I might insert from their website. They kind of show you how to use this. It's kind of like when you put a lens, a body and lens sideways inside. Here, so here is my XT5 and the 10 and 24. The way it's designed is if you put your camera in sideways, so it kind of rests like this, so it doesn't move around too much. And so I don't know how useful this is going to be for me, but there you go. That's kind of how it's designed here, in here, like that. And then you have these 4 slots. You have this back slot. And then, as I showed you before, there's these 2 larger pockets in here, which you could put. Let's just see what you can put in here. I'll be right back. Yeah, so you could easily, here's a Konica Hexar. Easy fits inside here. In fact, if you want to put two pointers, here's the XA and a big mini. Look at that. It fits in perfectly. So probably want to put like flashes or any kind of loose item. You can put it in the front here. And there is dimension to these little front pockets, so there's no stress when you put it. You're not stretching it. Unlike the back zip here, which I love back zips, and it has this flap here. And again, all brass hardware, so this is all really quality. There's no dimension back here, so you know maybe you could put like a tablet back here, but probably more meant for like maybe documents, or if you're traveling. Again, this probably will make a great travel bag, other than not having a pass-through. Some of the bags do have pass-throughs, this one doesn't, but I would definitely still travel with this. But you put stuff back here, and you have this little flap here, so you don't have to worry about that. But I mean, as I'm kind of playing around with this, just the quality of everything, even the leather, you can even smell the leather. It's just beautiful. It says Billingham on the little rivets here, and just looking at just all that, look at this. Look at all the, look at that. Hand stitch all on the edge here. Nice leather. Brass hardware. And again, I really like these inner grab handles here. Oh, and I forgot to mention as well. So let's just close this up here. Let's close this up here. And again, show you the side here. So you can sort of see, because of that doctor's here, let's just open it up. 2 zippers, which is great, but you can see here, right? So as you open it up like this, right, and you open up the other side all the way down. So let's look at it from the side. See how it opens up? Look at that. See that? Isn't that cool? Really nice design. Again, look at that nice leather here. I mean, as I mentioned, Camera Girl loves her premium women's handbags, and you know when I feel the quality of those bags, I'm thinking like, wow, this is really nicely built. This feels nicer. Maybe in another video, I will bring in one of Camera Girl's fancy Gucci bags and sort of compare just build quality, not obviously size or anything like that. This is meant to be used. And with this Fibronite material, I think if you look on eBay and you're looking for used Billingham bags, they still, you know, they hold their value pretty nicely, and they age nicely. I've seen Billingham bags from the 70s and 80s and 90s still being sold on eBay, and they look pretty good. The design has changed a little bit, but overall the way they're built and the quality of build has been the same since 1973. So again, let's just close this up here. Let's just close this up over here. And again, I do like this way of closing. Here, they loosen up over time as you use it here. And they do have attachments that kind of clip onto here. And they basically give you 2 extra little bags on the side. I personally, I mean, I'll see how I end up using it, but I think I don't want to make this bag even bigger. The 307 is already pretty big. If I wanted to go bigger, I would go with the, I forgot the numbers, 225, 335, 550, which is, I think, considered their first series, their original design back from the 1970s. And so those bags are even deeper than this. It goes even much deeper, so it's a lot harder to carry around like a shoulder bag. I think this is probably about as big as I as I would want my bag. And also, as I mentioned here, this little connection here and this connection here, I think it's meant for, they have straps to carry your tripod, so you can get the leather straps here, and not maybe just your tripod, but if you have a jacket or something, or a pillow or an exercise mat, who knows, you want to just attach it on the bottom, because like I said, you can use this as sort of a travel bag instead of just a camera bag. Then having those extra straps gives you the ability to add more things. So again, if you have those side pouches as well, you can expand on this bag. And I think this D-ring here was from, there was an older design where you can convert this into backpack. So I'm gonna see if maybe I can get some of my friends to maybe see if I can convert this, because if I can convert this into a backpack, so if I am at the airport and I just don't want to carry this around my shoulder and sort of even out the weight, it would be nice to quickly convert this into a backpack, and then when I want to carry around or use the grab handle here, then I can do it that way. But I think that's kind of a legacy design, but it's also, you could probably just hang this if you're in the washroom and put this on a hook and kind of hold the weight, because this should be able to hold the weight of the bag, but this is probably a more secure way to do it from the top handle here. And just again for size, let's grab the Leica M10R with a 28 here. So this kind of gives you the kind of perspective of the size. So it's big, but it's not overly big. You could probably carry like 1 or 2 bodies and a couple of lenses. If you have mirrorless, you can obviously put a lot more, but as you saw, I put my X-T5 with the 10 to 24 in there. But I mean, even in these pockets here, I bet you I could just probably slip. There you go. Like my M10R can slip. You know, you could probably even fit in like an 80 to 200 2.8 in these bigger slots here. I'll give that a try. Now this is the much thinner slot, so it looks more like maybe you put a flash or something inside here. But here's a big cine lens here, a 25 T1 point, what is this here? T105 from 7 Artisan, and this will just slip inside here, and you still have a little bit of space up top. Not a lot, but you got a little bit of space up top here. So here we go. Being able to carry a 13-inch MacBook Pro as well as all this camera gear, I think if you are working and you need to travel with your laptop as well as a couple of bodies, flash, lights, everything you need will all fit in here. And if you take out the inserts, you can definitely use this bag as a travel bag. You know, there's a famous Filson original briefcase style that's like $450 US. That's all handmade in the US. And that bag is smaller than this. It's maybe about the same dimension, but it's definitely not as thick. And that actually, at Filson, there's a version called the Rugged Twill, and that actually gets the material, the wax canvas, from the UK. And so I don't know if it's coming from Billingham or not, but you know, that's $450. So it gives you a sense of, you know, you want quality, you want handmade, you want it handmade in like the US or in the UK or in Germany, because you know, there's a brand called Oberwerth that also makes beautiful handcrafted camera bags and daily bags like this. That's the kind of the price you're gonna have to pay. And so you definitely are going up in quality if you can afford it. But these bags, as many fans of Billingham have mentioned, they last decades. Like the bag will last as long as your camera gear, or you know, back in the film days, of course, or with digital, this will outlast your digital camera. And I also forgot to mention, this is their bigger, I forgot the name of it, but this is the bigger, thicker shoulder pad here, and this is nice and strong. And because you know, the ends don't come off, this clips off this way here, so if this wears out, you want to add a new one. But if this breaks, which I don't see anyone breaking this, then you'll have to send this back to Billingham to attach a new strap system here. So I'm really excited to be able to use this when I'm out and about. For those of you that had seen me in the last couple of years, you know, I traveled to Germany, I traveled to the US. I usually use this as like my big main bag as I'm out and about. This bag is definitely bigger, a little bit bigger, even though this says 12 liter and this is maybe 11 liters if you include the front pouches here. But definitely this I think this can hold more. And actually this bag's more functional. This is also a beautiful bag, made in Taiwan, handcrafted, Italian crunch leather and Cordura material here. But this uses Fibronite, also uses beautiful leather, nicer kind of finished leather on this thing here. And also the design, I really like this outer flap, and I also enjoy having these inner handles here. Really looking forward to using this. And so, all right, so let's just move this out of the way. All right, and here is the bag. Here's the camera. And so thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions down below. I am working with Billingham, USA, so thank you so much, Ben and the team, for sending this out to me. I'll give you links down below. I think they are planning to expand into Canada. Maybe they already have. Go check out billingham.com website. And as well, you can go to any of the authorized dealers of Billingham. Camera West and Leica Store San Francisco are dealers for Billingham. But I mean, look at this is such a beautiful color on here, and it just looks great with cameras like the Leica M10R. And so thanks for watching and happy shooting. Peace.